Chesapeake Bay. All right, here's the Virginia map down here. Chesapeake Bay is this watershed up here. All these rivers, if you notice, they flow towards the southeast, and they end up here in the Chesapeake Bay. This is the Chesapeake Bay watershed. There are other watersheds in Virginia. These rivers also flow towards the southeast, but the Chesapeake Bay is not down here. What's down here would be the North Carolina Sounds, they call it. And then the ones out here in the western part of the state, starting about right here, they actually flow out towards the west, out towards the Mississippi River, and then the Mississippi River runs down to the Gulf of Mexico, down near Texas and Louisiana. So we're interested in these guys up here with Chesapeake Bay. There's some problems with the Chesapeake Bay, and they're called algae blooms. The process is known as eutrophication. Eutrophication with the EU, eutrophication. P-H-I-C-A. Eutrophication is the process where when you put fertilizer on your grass here in Virginia Beach, the fertilizer can run into the bay. And those little algae in there, there are phytoplankton. They're just like your grass. They're photosynthetic. They love that same fertilizer. And so you get these algae blooms all in the bay, and it blocks sunlight from hitting the bottom, and it's called a dead zone. All right. These are eukaryotic cells, and we saw earlier we got the U part of eukaryotic. The troph in it stands for an abundance of. We had other words like phototrophism, where photos for light and trophism and abundance. That makes the plants lean towards the light because that's where the abundance of light is. One side of us, the plants are leaning in phototrophism. This is eutrophism, where we have an abundance of our eukaryotes, the phytoplankton on there, and it blocks sunlight and it creates dead zones in the bay. You often see the around in neighborhoods in Virginia Beach, you have retention ponds. There's ponds in all the neighborhoods, and that gives a storage place for those fertilizers to run to instead of running into the bay. And if you don't have fountains in them, a lot of times it will get this slimy algae that will grow on the top of those ponds. Ways that you can help with the bay is watching your fertilizer, picking up after your dogs, because the manure can also act as a fertilizer. Restoring oyster reefs and seagrasses. Oysters are great at cleaning the bay. They're filter feeders, and so that getting the oyster population healthy back in the bay is something they're really trying to do as far as the health of the bay.